It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it's great to have you in studio today. Back to school. Over the next couple of weeks, the first 2 weeks of August, kids are going back to school. So Clint Combs, a school resource officer from Mingus High School and with Cottonwood Police Department, welcome to studio.
Good morning.
We're going to break Clint in today. It's his first day. Phone number for Cottonwood Police Department, 634-4246. Their website is to just go through the city website, cottonwoodaz.gov, and you can get to the Cottonwood Police Department there. But school's starting. Yes. August 3rd is next Thursday, so there's a bunch of different schools in the Verde Valley that'll be going back, and we've got schools going back the week after that as well across Yavapai and Coconino County, so the kids will be back in school, and therefore there are things we need to pay attention to when we're on the roads. We've had a few months of a break where we didn't have to look for those things, but now they're back. So let's start off right away with school buses.
School buses, like everybody knows, they'll be back on the road. There's going to be kids crossing roads to get to the school buses, everything else. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows the rules. Slow down, pay attention to what's going on around you.
Let's talk about that arm. So the school bus is going to stop because there's some differences. I know that if there's a median down the center of, let's say it's 89A out here in front of the building. If there's a median down the center of the road and the school bus stops and you're behind the school bus and the arm is deployed, the lights are flashing, you got to stop.
Still got to stop.
Other side does not though. With the median?
That's a better question for Officer Scarum, but at least slow down and pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly. The whole idea of the show today really is to get people to slow down and just start looking around a little bit more too. And then, so school buses, if you see the stop sign deployed, lights are flashing, you have to stop.
Yes.
Especially if you're behind that school bus.
Absolutely.
Because the reason they stop that is because the kids could be crossing in front of the bus, across the road, and all that good stuff. So we just want to watch out for school buses. We're going to see those early in the morning and mid-afternoon.
In mid-afternoon, that's right.
Mid-afternoon. So we're going to watch out for those. School zone. The school zone speed limit there is
15 miles an hour. It's typical.
Okay. So, and let me ask you this. I'm sure, and we do this story too, and we'll do it again next week. There's usually heightened patrols. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, Cottonwood PD usually puts an officer. They try to put an officer around in the area of every school first thing in the morning. Create a presence. Once again, get people to slow down, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah, watch out. And then another thing I wanted to make sure we talked about too is, and we've talked about this in the past, is that it can get kind of crazy on those first few days of school with parents dropping off and picking up kids, so.
Oh yeah, first day of school, everybody's trying to get back in the swing of things. You've got new parents with kids new to the school that maybe not know the best way to get in, best way to get out, maybe running late. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's the same thing. Slow down, take your time, and if your kid's going to be new to the school, as a parent, learn ahead of time where the best place to drop off is, and make sure, probably prior to that day, and be a little bit prepared.
See, I wanted to bring that up too. I think it'd probably be a good idea, maybe this weekend, to go ahead and go to the school. Take your child with you, go to the school.
Absolutely,
walk around. Know it.
Yeah, walk around, check things out. Know where you're supposed to be ahead of time, and you won't be in such a hurry. You won't be so nervous the day of.
And speaking of the day, nervous the day of.
Nerve.
Were you a nervous guy on the first day of school?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it terrified me to where I was sick to my stomach. You got all the cool school supplies and the cool back to school clothes and stuff, and that was all great. But then it came time to actually launch. Yep. And I was like, oh, because I used to be very shy.
Whether you were getting dropped off or stepping on the bus for the first time, yeah, absolutely nervous.
Yeah. So that might help a little bit too, because I don't think I was ever brought to any of the schools I went to ahead of time just to kind of see it and get to know it and know where I'm supposed to go. Especially jumping into high school, from junior high to high school. I mean, a lot of the kids around here, I imagine, are pretty familiar with the inside of Mingus High School. But for me, for that being the first larger school that I'd been to, knowing that I was going to have to be in this room this hour and this room this hour and then over to here, it's probably good to know that ahead of time.
I had parents and actually an administrator bring some kids to the high school last year, just a couple kids, to show them around because they were going to be freshmen this year and they were already nervous last year. So I would want to say that was actually I say this year that was around February, I think. So they were preparing them well ahead of time. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, right. I mean, why not get rid of that anxiety? Some of that nervousness. If your kid has anxiety and nervous, take them there and just show them around. Give them some time to kick the wheel, so to speak, on the school and see what it's like. So, and then those of us who are really familiar with how the pickup and drop off work, remember there are quite a few people that don't know how the pickup and drop off works. Right. So it's going to take a few days to get that underway. First day of kindergarten. Moms and dads are going to want to be taking pictures, things of that nature.
Sometimes, yeah.
It could be an event.
Yeah, and that makes it difficult. Places like Cottonwood Elementary School, the ingress and egress, the entrance there is it's tricky. They're on North Willard because of the curve and stuff like that. And I know just trying to get in, they stack up out on North Willard just trying to get into that school. So any extra time you're taking dropping off is really complicating things.
Okay, so again, be prepared ahead of time and then try to take care of some of those things before.
Maybe take the pictures at the house rather than at the school, that kind of thing.
Well, you want that backdrop of that school. So, but find a way to do it where you're not going to be doing it when everyone's trying to drop off their kids, then get to work, and it's just one of those hectic times of the day. You wanted to mention, and I think it's a good point, Mingus Avenue. Mingus Avenue is... Well, I'll let you talk about Mingus Avenue. Describe Mingus Avenue for us, those of us who can't picture it in our head.
Right now, not only is it a construction zone, but with Cottonwood Middle School, Cottonwood Elementary School, there are a lot of kids that walk Mingus Avenue to get to school. There's a lot of neighborhoods in that area that they walk from, and they're crossing the road sometimes in the wrong spot. We need to up education for them too, but that's really a problem area with traffic. It's heavily traveled by cars, and there's a lot of kids on the road through there.
So again, mornings and afternoons, expect to see, I'm seeing kids walking, I'm seeing kids on skateboards.
Skateboards, bicycles.
Yeah, and the scooters and stuff too. So just be aware that they're going to be out there. And then I think it's up to us to teach them to look both ways, but to also realize that maybe they're not going to look both ways at all times.
You're still talking about grade school age kids that don't always think.
Yeah,
we can teach them, but they don't always think. So we have to look out.
There's times I'm walking around in days and I've got something going around in my head. So odds are a kid is going to have that going on too. And if you can park along Mingus Avenue, can't you? You park along it.
There are areas where you can pull off and park, but for the most part, especially for the any place that there's a sidewalk right now, you'd be blocking traffic in a congested area anyway. It's not a good idea. Okay, all right. If someone was parked there though, and kids went through those cars, even in the school parking lot, I mean, with as many cars as going to be going through the parking lots and stuff like that, it's very easy for a child to get in between one car and another, and then just step out, and then we've got a tragedy going on. Yeah, getting in and out of Cottonwood Middle School, even right now with the construction and everything, is going to be because of the construction, is going to be even more problematic.
Do you happen to know when the construction's going to be over? I'm trying to recall myself, but I can't.
I don't. Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head how long that's going to be, but it's going to be a little while yet.
It's going to be out there, so you got to watch out for that anyway. So, okay, we got to take our first break already. Clint Combs is here. He's the school resource officer for Mingus High School. He's with the Cottonwood Police Department. 634-4246, the website to get to the Cottonwood Police Department. Just go through the city's website at cottonwoodaz.gov. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
So you're looking online now? Yeah, great condition. I hate to see her go, but I really just need the cash. Well, the price is still just $1,000, but you have to send the money now, right now. Well, that's why the price is so low. Like I said, I need cash fast. I can't wait on a check or money order. You have to send cash now.
The moment they ask for immediate cash is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamawareness.org.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio. School Resource Officer Clint Combs is in studio with the Cottonwood Police Department. Again, the phone number 634-4246. Cottonwoodaz.gov is the website. School Resource Officer, what does that mean?
Well, in a nutshell, under the grant.
Well, you don't have to put it in a nutshell.
Oh,
Just give us the whole version.
the rundown.
Yeah.
My purpose at the school is to provide a positive influence and educate the kids. Law-related education is what they're looking for. Helping them understand their rights, how the police department works, why we do what we do, things like that.
Do you spend the whole day there every day? I mean, how
I will be. Yes.
Tell me a typical day.
Yeah, as
for Clint
it works
Combs.
out. I wasn't under the grant last year, so I worked with all the schools. But this year, the school was given the school safety grant. They applied for it and got it. So, yeah, I will be at the school all day, and my day will consist of anything from teaching. I have to teach 180 hours of minimum law-related education every year. And
really? So you have to you have to teach.
I will be in the classroom. I will be co-teaching with other teachers, and I can go into if they've got a civics class. I can go in there, especially if they're talking about Fourth Amendment, which is a huge part of the law enforcement. You know, that's our entire job is Fourth Amendment almost. Talk to them about that. Like I said, explain to them some specific laws, maybe use of force as far as police department's concerned, because that's a misunderstood aspect of our job.
Sure.
Things like that.
Okay.
And then other times I'll spend probably working on helping the school upgrade safety. You know, if there's any safety issues, maybe things like traffic around the school, something like that. If there's something I can help out with as far as changing policies or even just providing a presence under those circumstances. And then the other one is just walking around and having some sort of positive interaction with the kids.
How do you do that?
It's not easy. It's not easy, especially I learned that last year at the high school. You know, when I first walked down the hall, I never even got eye contact.
Do the waters part?
Pretty much. Never really even got eye contact. You know, at the middle school and the elementary school, they still want to run up and talk to you, and you know, all you have to do is show up on campus and you've got 15 kids.
Look at all that cool stuff you got. What is all this stuff you got?
High school, it was a little bit different. So I'm hoping that being there more often will help that.
Okay, so you think maybe more often, just more presence and...
More presence and being in the classroom and being able to talk to them a little bit, I think will be a big deal.
Do you think? I think it's pretty obvious, but having you in a high school now is different from when you and I went to high school.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember we had a school resource officer, and I didn't think twice about there being a cop in the school. It just, you know, it was, I don't want to say it was like null and void, but it's just, why are you even here? Mm-hmm. And nowadays, it's so different for you. It's
way different. Things that they didn't have when I was in, you know, when I went to Mingus. Like we were talking about earlier, social media. Social media is a huge thing that we didn't have back then, and stuff. The laws that surround that, internet safety, kids don't understand that when you put things out on social media, when you put it out on the internet, it is there forever, you know, and people can find it. People know how to find it. An example was I learned recently Snapchat. They think that once that picture or whatever it is that they text just goes away, it just disappears. It doesn't. It goes to a server, and that was hacked recently. There were millions of photos and everything that went out over the internet from Snapchat. They called it the snapping, from what I understand.
Okay.
So things like that. That's going to be one of the first things I start teaching kids is internet safety.
Okay. Well, give us a couple of key things that you think that the kids, maybe parents, should talk to their kids about before we head into school.
probably what the parents need to do is make sure that they're on their kid's phone and know everything. I'm not up on social media myself, and kids are far more advanced than I will ever be. Oh, yeah,
they are fast, and it changes quick too.
Yes, and it changes quick. So the parents need to know what's on their phone. I know that they want to be friends and stuff, but it's your job to be nosy, be on that phone, find out what they're doing, find out what they're saying.
Parents have a right to take that phone.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, they're paying the bill, right? Mm-hmm. It's really the parent's phone.
Absolutely.
They're just borrowing it.
Absolutely.
Your child is borrowing that phone, by the way. You own that phone and that bill.
Absolutely.
So, are there rules in schools on the use of phones and stuff?
The schools have policies when obviously no phones can be out in class and stuff like that. They have that kind of stuff. And as far as the rules, as far as what the school can do, they have a lot more leeway than even I do under those circumstances. As far as even taking possession of the phone, under certain circumstances and stuff like that. Typically they don't, but under certain circumstances they have more leeway than I do.
I don't think maybe they'll be looking away at you this year. I'm picturing the bell rings, the doors open, the kids walk out the doors, and everyone's down here looking at this and walking around, pushing buttons on their phone. They're not looking at you. They're busy on their phones because they got like 5 minutes between class or something.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of that.
So I got to catch up. What's going on? Right. So they've got 5 minutes to do that.
There's a fair amount of that. Yeah,
they're not ignoring Clint Combs at all. Let's talk about. We have a couple of stories like this every year, and a lot of the times I feel like maybe it's accidental. It usually is accidental, but hunting season's coming up, and we'll have a story or two where a hunting knife was found sitting in the truck. Tom forgot to take the rifle out. They were hunting all weekend, deer, elk, whatever it may be, left the rifle in the truck, ammunition in the truck. So let's address that a little bit too, because when that happens...
It happens, and
Clint's
you're right, it's usually an accident. Somebody doesn't think, somebody forgets to pull that out, like you said. Unfortunately, the law is very specific, and the law doesn't make allowances for that. The law doesn't make allowances for hunting weapons versus weapons meant for something else. Okay. It doesn't make that distinction. So pay attention and make sure that you pull those things out.
Let's say when you're done hunting for the weekend, take everything out of your truck. Don't be like me and procrastinate.
Well, and it's just smart anyway, because vehicle burglars are a big deal in this valley, and you can get things stolen out of your vehicle really easy.
That's a really good point.
So save your own stuff and don't take that chance, and then don't take a chance on accidentally bringing something to school.
Yeah, last thing you want is your hunting rifle or handgun or knife or something in your truck, and then somebody's walking around the neighborhood lifting handles and jiggling them to see if the door opens. And if it does, well, you can kiss that goodbye. Okay, all right, that's good to do. Drugs on campus.
Yes.
I suppose those are illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And it's a problem. It's a problem in this valley. A lot of issues. Once again, we go back to social media and stuff, and kids are going on social media advertising that they're selling these drugs, things like that.
Isn't that weird? They think no one's going to see that? The people you want to see it, but don't you think that the people that you don't want to see it's going to see it as well?
Once again, it's out on social media. Right. It's there for everybody to see, and you don't have any legal right to your personal space as far as social media is concerned. Okay, if it's out there, it's on social media, then people can find it, and it's not illegal to do so.
Anybody is allowed access to that right there. And a lot of people say, you can't search my locker. It's my locker.
Oh no, that locker belongs to the school.
And that happens. The searches.
Yeah. They can search that for no reason. Typically, the school policy is they want some sort of reasonable suspicion, just like I would have. But they can search that locker at any time. That is their locker.
I mean, we've seen it before where the K-9s go through the halls.
The school can search vehicles that are parked on campus. Okay, if a student has a parking place that they're paying for on campus, it's part of their contract that the school can search that vehicle. The administrators can search that vehicle.
Okay, all right, that's a good point. It's under contract. Okay, let's take our second break. School Resource Officer Clint Combs in studio. We're talking about back to school and safety and all kinds of different things, because school starts up here in the next couple of weeks for all schools across Yavapai County and Coconino County. Phone number for Cottonwood PD is 634-4246. Website is cottonwoodaz.gov. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
Mateo.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber. You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. This is Sue from Disaster Relief. We're calling neighbors statewide to get help for storm victims. Children, lost parents, homes. You can. Oh, thank you. But could you send the money now? The need is urgent. We so appreciate you. It means so much, but it has to be now. It has to be cash. No credit cards, checks, just cash.
The moment they ask for immediate cash is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamawareness.org.
Schools have a big problem. Every year, millions of kids come to class with nothing. So teachers end up spending thousands of dollars of their own money just to make sure kids have what they need to learn. I'm the school supply fairy. My assistant and I do what we can. But we could really use your help.
Welcome back to Countywide. Last segment of the program, just a couple minutes left. Clint Combs from the School Resource Officer for Mingus Union High School, and just Mingus this year.
Just Mingus.
And you said last year was all the schools.
Yes.
Oh, so that really divided your time up.
Yeah. There was times it got a little hectic and spread your attention a little bit.
At what point in time do you get called upon?
That really depends on the school. Sometimes, obviously, if there's something law related, criminal that they wanted me to get involved in, then I would show up. And sometimes it was just for education. I would go to the different schools and teach classes and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about threats against the school. I don't recall too many in the Verde Valley, but Flagstaff had a real epidemic last year, towards the end of the year, where they were finding notes in some bathrooms in the school over and over and over again. It went on for, I want to say 2 or 3 months.
Right.
But we see it every year. Typically, just before school goes out, we start seeing a few of those where we're hoping to get a day off or something like that.
Right.
But the one line I always notice is that when the student is found that made the threat, either against the school, students, or staff, it was just a joke.
Yeah.
It was just a joke, Clint.
Thought it was funny.
What's your response to that?
There is nothing funny about that. The resources that go into an investigation like that, because we cannot take it lightly, the resources that go into that kind of investigation can really tap, especially a small department like ours. I can think of at least one that a better part of the department spent all night long working on this one case, and it was a joke where kids were trying to prank another kid, and there was nothing funny about that.
And social media again.
Social media.
But somebody saw it, alerted you guys, and then it's like, well, we got to get on this.
Yeah.
Can't have this going on.
We have to find that kid. We have to bring them in, and we have to assess whether or not they're serious, whether or not they're not. Even some of the more simple ones have kept me at the school for an extra couple hours, just trying to make sure I get this covered before I can walk away and say, yes, this is safe. This was just a prank.
We got a minute left. So if I come to you and I'm this this young person that has put this joke out there, so to speak, what kind of penalty am I looking at? I mean, this is going to be in your life for a while. Not to mention your parents' lives as well.
It depends on the circumstances, but there are statutes under Arizona state law threatening, intimidating, interfering with an educational institution, possibly terroristic threats. It just really depends on the situation, but you're obviously looking at some very stiff felony violations.
I mean, there's the legal side of it with the police and the courts, but there's also the school side of it. So there's double jeopardy. Not to mention mom and dad's not going to be too happy about this either.
Nope, they will not be.
All right, so there we go. All right, so we're hoping everybody has a safe return to school.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so slow down, watch for the kids, get off that social media for a little while at least. Right? Give it a rest. Give it a rest. Don't put that stuff up on there. Okay, all right. And then pay attention especially on Mingus Avenue. Oh, we also want to make mention, Fur and 260. We have a lot. We seem to have an accident increase there when high school fires up. So kids, if you're driving, slow down at Fern 260. Just take your time. You'll make it to lunch and back. Clint, great to see you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in and doing the show.
My pleasure.
That's today's Countywide. Again, School Resource Officer Clint Combs. That's today's Countywide. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.